Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, to the Akim Akbar, trying to focus on earth, holding on in sincerity and in truth, to the gospel of Lord Amashak Yahweh Shai in these days and times, with diligence of mind is Bram Nasha, DC Camp. Another sign the times we have to keep in mind. It's necessary to remember the actions of the so-called U.S. president Donald Trump. Yeah, referring to himself as a peacemaker. Yeah, it's just part of the irony, of his proclamations, and then you weigh that against reality, and you realize it's just totally opposite. But hey, when you trust in the word of the Lord, nothing really catches you by surprise because your spirit is fine-tuned, to prophecy, to the spirit of prophecy, and you understand the necessary events that must take place upon the face of the earth before we could receive our salvation as Israelites, right? The so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, all spread out throughout the four corners of the earth. We all have to witness certain acts of aggression, destruction, manipulation of narratives and all that stuff. And you just have to, prepare accordingly for this chaos, because a lot of people don't really know what direction it's gonna go. You think sanctions and impeachment is going to slow down the process, but it doesn't. Alright, it's just according to the word of the Lord. It's according to the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shai's plan to make sure that this situation, gets situated. It has to be solidified. All right. So I get a quick precept. It's gonna be from the book of. Let's see where it is. All right, here you are. Luke chapter 12, verse 49. This is what the Lord Hamashach Yahushai said. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? So this is the desire of the Lord Hamashach Yahushai, that these things have to take place. This is our desire. The servant's desire should not deviate from the master's desire. We're all servants of the Lord Hamashach Yahushai in righteousness and in truth. And then you just have to go with the program. And a lot of people don't want this chaos to progress, but it's still gonna progress. The heat might, the tempo might reduce, but at the end of the day, the chaos is just lurking in the background. Okay, yeah. So it's one of those things you have to prepare for. So I play the clip and get some more precepts. So you just have to pay attention, man, to all these events of prophecy.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker.
Yeah, there's a nuclear missile called a peacemaker. Yeah, there's a nuclear missile called a peacemaker. So you have to realize what we're dealing with. You have to realize that times we are living in, you have to be vigilant. Yeah, so the name of the missile is called, is it Peacekeeper? Yeah, Peacekeeper. Peacemaker. Alright, so Peacekeeper, Peacemaker, hey, they're in the same neighborhood. So you have the LGM 118 Peacekeeper, originally known as the MIX. Alright, sorry, the MX for Missile Experimental. Okay, so it's a MIRV capable intercontinental ballistic missile produced and deployed by the United States. Alright, from 1986 to 2005, the missile can carry up to 11 Mark 21 re-entry vehicles, each armed with a 300 kiloton W-87 warhead. Alright, so you have the Peacekeeper missile, and then you have the Minuteman. Alright, so every missile, man, has a interesting name. Yeah, it's just a multiple of different missiles you have to be aware of, man. And then you have the Dongfang missile, the East Wind, and then you got the one from Russia, called Satan. Yeah, so all these missiles have a purpose; they must be used. All right. So from the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and 21, it mentions that the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So that's just the beauty of prophecy. You have to accept the path that Babylon is on. It's on a war path. It's on a path of destruction. All right, so the path of wreaking havoc upon the face of the earth, despite all the riches that has been garnered into its storehouses. So you just have to be ready for the chaos that ensues out of the conquests. All right, this is the conquest of Edom, the conquest of the dragon. All right, the conquest of Babylon. All right, so book of Ezekiel chapter 7 and 25 says, "Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none." All right, so it's going to be painful for a lot of people when they see the chaos at their doorstep. All right, and then you have these notices online about border patrol, ICE, border patrol, gonna be doing door to door. But hey, what do you expect? Is the kingdom of Babylon. They have to exert that power because they know it's their last breath. Just like when you have someone gasping for air before they go underwater, they'll be trying to put up a fight, and it's just what it is before they give up the ghosts. And then Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" And that's what the Spirit of the Lord is for, man. He revealed the secrets unto his prophets. Alright, so that's how you're able to know what path. You're able to pay attention clearly and see exactly what types of deceptive strategies that the serpent is applying on his so-called in his dominion, in his domain. All right.
Maker and a unifier.
Yeah, so that's just the journey, the journey of the prophets, through this time of the heathen's rulership. So Obadiah 1 and 7, all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All right. So they're going to go into a foreign land, man. The Persian Gulf, the Valley of Decision, the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Okay. The, the, the region, in the Middle East, they're going to be right there in the land, in the land of Ishmael, the land of Elam. Just put it to the land of Shem. Okay, over there in the Middle East, around the Fertile Crescent, in the desert regions and all that stuff. So it's gonna be chaos, all right. It says the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. So always remember, man, the EU and all these NATO allies of the United States, they're going to have to break rank, and they're going to have to let all those secret contingency plans go into effect, right? And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So, it's the path for the extinction of Babylon. All right, the empire of Babylon has to fade away violently, man. The Lord has to shake the kingdom of Babylon off its foundation. That has to loosen the screws. And detonate his words of prophecy in it. Okay, so it's just part of the things we have to look forward to. All right, so the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5 and 3: For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So it's just the beauty of the Most High applying pressure upon the neck of the serpent. So what do you think is going to happen, man? The serpent is going to be trying to wiggle out of it. That's just how the Lord operates, man. The Most High puts his hand on the neck of the serpent, and that's it. So the serpent will have to put up a fight, but that's just the end of the serpent right there, man. The the ultimate charmer is coming to town with his flute. So he's got to, play those notes, to put a serpent in the daze, put a serpent in the tailspin. And that's just the beauty of prophecy, man. The Most High, Habashim Shai, has put this situation, in such a place, in such a arrangement that there is no way out for the serpent. Okay, there is no way out. So you just have to be aware. Okay, so we're looking forward to the calamities that are coming upon the face of the earth, and we expect, the judgment to come down hard upon the world. Okay, so 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and 8: For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So that's how it is, man. Esau's upset that the men of the Lord are preaching the gospel as by the end of Babylon. They're nervous, they're agitated, irritated, and it's just how it is, man. Nobody wants to see their kingdom go down. But at the same time, righteousness has to prevail. It's rather to be on the path of righteousness than to try to uphold a society that is unrighteous, just to keep it simple, that doesn't have a balance of balance of sanity, a balance of righteousness. There is no opportunity for unrighteousness to continue further. Beyond the mark, beyond the threshold the Lord has set. So that's just what we have to look forward to, man. The word of the Lord has to stand firm. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8. For we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So we're boxed in by the truth. We're boxed in by the truth. Even the lies is surrounded by the truth. That's how the Lord has set up the system, man. The lies are surrounded by the truth. So everything is boxed in, man. That's the way the Lord has set up his system. It cannot be altered. Because when it's time, sheesh, the truth will have to engulf the whole thing and just flush it out. That's the the greatness of the Lord. All right. So that's the point of this lesson, man. You're gonna see lots of uproars of the people, and you're gonna see lots of prophecies coming to pass, and the Lord will have to show more signs and wonders, according to His word. So, Barataza, I'll put up some more lessons, and we'll see how the Spirit leads us from there. Shalom.